Boris Johnson has resigned as an MP in dramatic fashion over what he and his supporters claim is a witch hunt against him. The former Prime Minister issued a shock statement just hours after his close ally Nadine Dorries announced she too was quitting Parliament in what now appears to be a coordinated move to force two damaging by-elections on Mr Sunak's floundering government. There is now speculation that others may follow in the coming days, forcing Mr Sunak to fight for his political life. On a number of fronts, Mr Johnson's resignation followed weeks of briefing against Mr Johnson and culminated in him receiving the findings of the Commons Privileges Committee into whether he had deliberately misled Parliament. Revealing the findings, Mr Johnson said that to his amazement the committee members are determined to use the proceedings against me to drive me out of Parliament. He went on, "They have still not produced a shred of evidence that I knowingly or recklessly misled the Commons. They know perfectly well that when I spoke in the Commons I was saying what I believed sincerely to be true and what I had been briefed to say, like any other minister. They know that I corrected the record as soon as possible, and they know that I and every other senior official and minister, including the current Prime Minister and then occupant of the same building, Rishi Sunak, believed that we were working lawfully together." A close ally of Mr Johnson and former minister told the Daily Express, "It is like a circular firing squad with AK-47s. Sunak's lot seemed determined to destroy everyone. Why would Boris want to stay to be unfairly humiliated? Why would he want to put up with 2 weeks of leaks and briefings against him?" The senior MP added, "When this government falls apart, and it will, they will be begging Boris to come back. Constituencies will be opening their arms in welcome to him to be their candidate." The ally went on, "But really, what is the..." Reflecting on his time as an MP since 2001, Mr Johnson insisted that he has never lied as his opponents, particularly Remainers, have tried to portray him. Of the committee, he said, "They have willfully chosen to ignore the truth because from the outset their purpose has not been to discover the truth, or genuinely to understand what was in my mind when I spoke in the Commons. Their purpose from the beginning has been to find me guilty, regardless of the facts." This is the very definition of a kangaroo court. Most members of the committee, especially the chair, had already expressed deeply prejudicial remarks about my guilt before they had even seen the evidence. They should have recused themselves. He went on, "In retrospect, it was naive and trusting of me to think that these proceedings could be remotely useful or fair. But I was determined to believe in the system and in justice, and to vindicate what I knew to be the truth. It was the same faith in the impartiality of our systems that led me to commission Sue Gray. It is clear that my faith has been misplaced. Of course, it suits the Labour Party, the Liberal Democrats, and the SNP to do whatever they can to remove me from Parliament. Sadly, as we saw in July last year, there are currently some Tory MPs who share that view. I am not alone in thinking that there is a witch hunt underway, to take revenge for Brexit and ultimately to reverse the 2016 referendum result." But he warned that the real motives behind his removal was that it was a necessary first step to unpick Brexit. He pointed out that he has no confidence in the senior civil servant Sue Gray, who investigated him and has now been cleared to be Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer's chief of staff. He added, "Nor do I believe that it is any coincidence that her supposedly impartial chief counsel, Daniel Stillett's KC, turned out to be a strong Labour supporter who repeatedly tweeted personal attacks on me and the government."